Ever wondered how AI can make your life easier? Zentrik's got a game-changing secret. Stick around to find out how. Jorge Alcantara is not just another founder, they're a trailblazer in the tech world. With over a decade of experience in AI, Jorge has shaped how companies use technology to create real value. From launching the first large-scale chatbots to pioneering unique AI training methods, Jorge's journey has been nothing short of impressive. Now with Zentrik, Jorge is tackling a huge problem in product management that many don't even realize exists. How did Jorge figure out how to close the gap between idea and execution so quickly? You'll want to stick around to find out. Welcome back. Today, we're diving deeper into Jorge's journey with Zentrik. We'll explore how Zentrik is streamlining product development and what this means for the future of product management. You don't want to miss the insights and surprises that lie ahead. Welcome to the journey of Zentrik. Jorge Alcantara has cracked the code for product development by turning ideas into ready-to-go tasks in minutes. By using AI, Zentrik helps product managers focus on solving real user problems instead of getting lost in paperwork. The key to Zentrik's rapid growth? Listening to users, getting feedback, and continuously improving the tool. So if you are looking to innovate, remember, stay user-focused and embrace technology to streamline your processes. Welcome to the Founder Show, the ultimate podcast for startups and visionaries. Today, we're thrilled to have Jorge Alcantara, the founder of Zentrik, joining us. Here, we share amazing stories and inspire anyone looking to grow their ideas. With our huge audience and over 100,000 subscribers, you're in for a treat. So let's get started. Hi, Jorge. This is Vats from the Founder Show. Thanks for joining this podcast, and I'm so glad to have you here with me. How are you doing today?
Hey. Very good. Hello, Vatsa, and nice to meet you with the phone too.
Nice to meet you too, Jorge. Let's dive right in. Tell me about your startup. What's the name, the idea behind it, and the big problem you're solving?
Mm-hmm. Well, jumping right in. The name is Zentrik with a Z or a Z, depending on where you live. And what we're doing is helping products break down the barrier between strategy and execution. We have seen way too often how product teams get bogged down in being Jira janitors, and we're fixing this by helping them turn any requirements or ideas into sprint-ready tasks in minutes instead of days of interactions with other teams, engineering, and back and forth with executives.
That's fascinating, Jorge. So Zentrik is essentially streamlining the entire product development process, saving teams a ton of time and effort. What inspired you to tackle this specific problem? Was there a moment or experience that sparked the idea?
Yes. Two questions there that I would break down separately. In that the original inspiration, of course, comes from our personal experience in working in tech in Silicon Valley. We have seen this problem firsthand, where companies just continue to hire product managers because the previous ones could not take the time to actually do the real product development work, which means talking to customers, thinking about the strategy, exploring the solution space. And so little by little, we also saw how a role that used to be 4 different roles started to be condensed into one. There used to be product owners, scrum masters, and project managers working for the same product. But more and more, particularly with the layoffs of the last 3 years, we saw that this got condensed into just a product manager that was supposed to do all of these tasks themselves. And so what really ends up hurting is the product itself, because if you don't have time to really think of what is the best feature to build, you're going to end up as a feature factory, just pushing out code without really knowing if that has an impact on your user base. The other point, I think, sorry, go ahead.
No, please continue, Jorge. I'm really intrigued by how this evolution in roles shaped your approach. What was the second point you were about to make?
Of course, this is the problem area, but there's also the solution space, and that we consider that now the technology was at a level in which we could actually deliver on this promise effectively. Like, this is a problem that would not have been solvable 3 to 5 years ago, when we didn't have an external intelligence that we can query to actually do smoother reasoning for us. And so it is now that we have cheap, accessible intelligence that we can actually create the flows that iterate on these processes for our users, for the product managers, and actually can deliver on the value that brings them back to do real product management work.
That's such a powerful insight, Jorge. It's amazing how advancements in technology, especially in AI, have opened up opportunities to solve problems that were previously out of reach. How did you go about validating this solution? Did you test it with product teams early on? Or was there a specific moment when you realized, yes, this works?
The former. We approached it as a traditional product in that sense. From the moment that we started with the idea, which was only this last summer, we went and talked with all product managers that we already had in our network to first validate the approach. Then we built a prototype very quick. We started in August, and by the 1st of September, we had a prototype already hosted that we started bringing in our initial alpha users in. We got to about 50 users and more than 100 interviews where we validated the direction that we wanted to take next and what would be the highest value driver for those early users. We worked with them throughout the alpha, and we launched our beta in Halloween, the 31st of October. And after that day, we got about 200 users on the first month, so up to December, or up to the beginning of January. And we keep doing the same process over and over. The most important part is interviewing product managers, product leaders, and working directly with product teams to integrate this into their workflows effectively. So just to answer your question in short, we are driven completely by product managers that are using our tool, that are giving us feedback, and that we're talking to every week.
That's an impressive timeline, Jorge. From idea to prototype to launch in just a few months and already gaining traction with 200 users, that's incredible. It's clear you're deeply user-focused. What's been the most surprising or unexpected feedback you've received from these product managers so far?
That's a good question. There was a couple of things that surprised us, one on terms of size and the other one on category. The first thing is that we heard from product managers in the early days when we were validating the idea and exploring the problem space that too many product managers, if not nearly all of them, had the time dedication completely backwards to the value that the company was creating and their joy in the job. So most product managers were spending most of their time on the tasks that they actually consider generate the least value long term and that they enjoyed least. PMs usually enjoy talking to users, exploring solutions with engineering, whilst they were dedicating most of the time to documenting features, release notes, interacting with Jira, and managing status updates for stakeholders. So it's completely backwards, and that wasn't fully surprising in the sense that we knew that existed. We just didn't know that it happened to nearly every product manager out there. In terms of category, it was the level of usage of AI in these professions. When we started these interviews, it was already late 2024, so generative AI has been in the public market, let's say, for 3 years. But it was still impressive how many of the product managers that we talked to were already taking courses to improve their AI utilization and trying always to look for the new tools on the market. That was also surprising in a positive way, particularly for us, but nonetheless surprising.
That's so eye-opening, Jorge. It's almost ironic how product managers who thrive on creativity and strategy are stuck in low-value, repetitive tasks. And the widespread eagerness to adopt AI must have been a huge validation for Zentrik's potential. How do you see this AI-driven shift transforming the role of product managers in the next few years?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and one that I've been thinking of for quite a few months now. I have a bold proposal here, and I do think that product thinking is the skill of the future. Because as development becomes commoditized, the bottleneck moves upwards. And so companies will no longer be differentiated by who can get the most features out, but by who solves the user problems best, by who designs the flows and experiences that delight, convert, and retain those users, and not by who will be able to push more code out. And so it is my strong thesis that product management is the real role that we should be looking at to grow companies in the future, as we're going to see already the sunset over the value that has been given in the last few years to software development, as it is going to become more and more commoditized.
That's a bold and compelling vision, Jorge. Shifting the focus from sheer output to solving real user problems and creating delightful experiences is such a powerful perspective. With product thinking becoming central, how do you see Zentrik evolving to support this transformation and empower product managers to lead this future?
Very good question, too. The reality is that Zentrik has been created as a two-stage company. We're first helping product managers augment themselves so they can remove the time that they used to dedicate to all of these menial and rewarding tasks. And the second piece of Zentrik will come later in this year, is where we not only create those tasks from your requirements and ideas, but actually start automating them for you, so that we create a platform where you manage the work and interface between AI agents and your human workers. So what we really aim to develop for our customers is the hybrid workforce management platform, where you can actually manage hybrid teams of humans and AI that work together to collaborate seamlessly. We do believe that this starts on the product manager, because it is the PM that will be in the command chair of this solution moving forward. And so we are building for them now so that we can help them in the best way possible when we're building full end-to-end solutions for these companies.
That's an ambitious and exciting roadmap, Jorge. The idea of a hybrid workforce where AI and humans collaborate seamlessly is truly forward-thinking. It sounds like Zentrik is not just solving today's problems, but also preparing for the future of work. What do you think will be the biggest challenge in getting companies to adopt this hybrid workforce model?
There is a resistance, particularly in the larger enterprises. No, there are challenges also that may become societal, like, of course, the work displacement that can incur if we start automating actual jobs. And that is why we're focusing on augmentation. We don't necessarily want a company to shy away from continuing to hire on all of these positions. We just want to maximize the output of everybody involved. So going back to the question, what is the main problem for the future? The main resistance will be the change. Bigger enterprises are resistant to change. This will create new frameworks. This will mean that things like SAFe, particularly like Scaled Agile for Enterprise, or even Agile itself, lose meaning in a world in which the process of going from idea to feature could be minutes instead of months, right? And so there will be a lot of resistance to dropping the old world frameworks. And so we want to help our clients through this process by bringing these frameworks first into the platform and then doing a slow transition where companies can actually start seeing the value before they make the jump. But there is, I think, one big jump that some companies will need handholding in order to eventually make.
That's a thoughtful approach, Jorge. Change, especially in large enterprises, is always a challenge, and easing them into this transition with familiar frameworks is a smart strategy. It's clear you're not just building a tool, but also guiding a cultural shift. What's one piece of advice you'd give to founders who are also trying to introduce transformative solutions in industries resistant to change?
Well, first, be prepared to face that resistance. So don't give up just because the first attempts at making that change did not work as you expected. You may have not found the right early adopters. You may have not found the right messaging or flow to bring about that change. And so if you really believe in an idea and you have validation from the market that the outcome is desired, keep iterating on the process that will take you there. Do not neglect approaches that you wouldn't have considered before. Make sure that you speak the language of the people that you have in front of you. Make sure that you bring that solution's value to the framework that the reader or the audience is going to understand. A lot of times I have seen how founders, particularly, we can have a big ego. And sometimes we believe that because we really have a very good idea, that everybody should understand and see the value of it. And the reality is that most people won't unless you speak to their pains and translate it to their values.
That's such valuable advice. Voice persistence, adaptability, and empathy for your audience are key. It's inspiring to hear how deeply you've thought about this. As we wrap up, what's next for Zentrik in 2025? Any exciting milestones or goals you're aiming for this year?
Hell yeah. We are launching our MVP on mid-February. We're tying up the last features of that end the beta during the next month and preparing for this big launch, for which we'll have the whole team in San Francisco as well. And it will not only be a lot of fun, but also very exciting to just prepare. We're working with a few early design partners, and at that time we will make all of this information finally public. We'll create the MVP as general access, and it will really be a new life after that. And so that's the main milestone. We'll have a few other things planned for the summer and beyond, but step by step.
That's incredible, Jorge. Launching the MVP in February sounds like a huge milestone, and having the team together in San Francisco will definitely add to the excitement. I can't wait to see how Zentrik evolves post-launch. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights. It's been an absolute pleasure. Wishing you and Zentrik all the success in 2025 and beyond.
Thank you, and same to you. I think this format is a winner, and you have very interesting and insightful questions as well. So best of luck to you too.
Thank you so much, Jorge. I truly appreciate your kind words. Wishing you all the best with Zentrik. Take care. Thanks for listening to The Founder Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on our latest chats. If you're a startup founder and want to share your story, we'd love to have you on the show. Just head over to founder.show and sign up. We can't wait to hear from you. Catch you next time.